Howard here at Kiteboarding.com, and I've got to tell you, we've been so stoked waiting for the release of this new Alpha. Getting to ride one of these prior to understanding what they're doing, it got me so excited I couldn't wait to do the video when they allowed me to do it. But I got to tell you, this is the Alpha V3. This is the single strut kite from Ozone, and I got to tell you, Dom and Rob have done such a great job on these series, but this one, this is what they call the Ultra X series. They've made it super ultra light, and I love that. Why? Because I like going out foiling with a kite that's super light, that when it's, you know, about 15 miles an hour, I can easily, or even less in the teens, I can ride a 6 meter. 6 meter is like the dream kite we have around here. So getting all of the sizes to me was very important. They've got all the sizes now. They were only doing them in even, now they're doing them in odd. So you've got the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and it continues all the way to 12. Then they've got the 14 and the 16 for those super ultra light guys who want to get out in those light wind conditions. But what they've done is they come in and they've done with the ultralight Dacron. This is the 125 gram. Some other brands call this, you know, what is it? The Duodome calls it SLS. These guys just call it the 125 gram Dacron. I think Slingshot was using some. But it is awesome. This cloth, when it came out, I'm telling you, it is a little bit sensitive, so you don't want to scrape them around. But if you take care of your kites and you want that ultralight responsiveness, this is the way to go. This stuff is like the next step down from a Lula. Lula's very expensive, but this stuff is so lightweight. It's very close in the same weight range, especially when you go with a single strut. I love it. They come in with a solid bridle. They don't have, that's one thing Ozone doesn't have, is the pulleys on the bridle. What that does is it makes the kite more direct in feel and control, and that definitely comes into this. When you make these kites so light, this is a 6 meter, comes in at 3.25 pounds. That's just crazy. It's about 20% lighter. We've done some weighing, some other single strut, standard Dacron kites, and this one comes in easily 20% lighter. That little bit and a kite this size is huge. That allows you just a larger flying range. Now, some of the design aspects that they went into this model and changing out, I go through them and start looking, what did they do differently? Now, what they've done is just the little tiny things to make them light, getting rid of these larger scuff pads on all of the seams. They've got rid of those. They've come down. They've got little small ones that protect these seams underneath that are kind of sensitive, as well as on the main seam. When they come in here and they double layer to give this seam its strength, they actually even made that a little bit smaller. All these little tiny things going throughout the cell make it super ultra light. They've reduced the Dacron down on the wing tips, just only in the areas that's needed. They've gone down to the D2 cloth, which gives that just a little bit more lighter, still very, very strong cloth, great cloth, but it does just smaller increments, making it lighter and lighter. Now, another thing that they've done is this is a constant, continuous curve leading edge. And some people say, well, what does that matter? Well, constant curve leading edge, especially when you get into a single strut, because you have no structural struts on the outside, getting that constant curve where all your material's in a nice, it's kind of like an egg in a way. So if you make these bending moments, let's say you put a T in here, that weakens it a little bit. This is constant curve, so it stays in that shape and it gives it more structure strength and overall stability in the kite when you get into that no depower position, or when you want it to respond in a turn real quick. It keeps that constant shape. And this one, when you're flying, and I'm telling you, it's crazy. It's a single strut, and you barely see any flutter at all. Now, one thing they did, what I like those guys designed, is the straightest strut possible in using these ultralight materials. When you do that, what happens is when you cut across the bias material, it kind of weakens things a little bit. They've taken it and made it one piece, real clean Dacron strut in here, but give that, you can see the size up here in the front, and then it narrows into the back. That gives great structure right here. Don't just make them small, make them very structured, lightweight as much as possible. Their inflation system, they come in with their high flow system. This is their new system. They got the standard screw valve in here, which works great. The other thing that they added into this is the adjustable bridle. And what that is they got free ride, and they call it freestyle and onshore. All that does is change the angle, the set angle of attack when you let off the back lines and you're only on the front lines. So I put it in free ride. That's what I like. I like it angled, set neutral pretty much. And that just quicker response, riding when I'm foiling. I like to go as fast as possible, but if you're one of those that rides in waves and you want that kite to start backing up a little bit sooner, drifting, which a lot of people call it, then you want to go out to the longer knot, and that sets that angle of attack nose back a little bit and causes it to drift much faster. So if you're riding on a wave and you pull in, it's going to quickly stay at that angle of attack, and it's not going to come over in the front as much. But overall, I got to tell you, they did such a great job. When I get into riding these, a 6 is my money kite. But one thing I really like about what they've done, this is a 7 meter. This is how I ride. I've got my kiss bar, a simple system like this, super ultra light. They've got these bags that I love to travel with, and the reason is this bag can hold up to 2 and 3 kites in here. So I've got the 4, 5, 6, or the 5, 6, 7, I think is one of my favorites. And they're all packed in here, and that's how I go to ride. Super light, super easy to travel with. But if you haven't gotten into foiling with the single strut kites, this is one you've got to try out. If you're ready to upgrade, get into the new models, and keep going in your foiling deal, jump into the Alphas. This Ultra X is fantastic. I gotta tell you, thanks guys for taking that jump, making these super ultra light. I've been waiting for that single strut ultra light. I want it lightweight, so it's packed down like this, responds so fast when we do all of our moves, our helicopters. This one will do that. Anyway, that's Jeff Howard here at Kiteboarding.com. Hey, thank you guys at Ozone. This is fantastic. Really stoked on this new Ultra X Alpha. If you have any questions, let us know.